All right, let's get this shit started. Hey everyone. All right, so this is the last episode in this series, talking with Hanzo29, and we go over a range of different topics once again related to Warframe and YouTube. And I don't know what I'm going to title this one. Maybe the Lotus Cast. Why? You'll see. All right, hope you enjoy. I would love to talk the Order 1886, and the whole concept surrounding it. Even the free-to-play model that...
Oh, sorry. Concept about what?
The whole concept behind, Order 1886 and, what's worth it as far as the length of a game, and how does a game like that even get made and at that price point, and who's really in control? In my opinion, who's really in control is the gamers. We're the ones with the money. And I say this on the forums, and I've said this with people, to people before that complain so much. I'm like, do you really want to show what you feel? Don't buy anything. Don't buy anything from Digital Extremes. They will feel that impact, Yeah, that was after Viver. I had to weigh in on that because a bunch of YouTube channels were just all like, "Oh, fuck this game and fuck the developers." And I'm thinking to myself, you understand that they helped you get to where you're at. Digital Extremes put you on the map by putting this game on there and it being on your channel, and now you have thousands of viewers, and you're telling them "fuck you." I was like, maybe you need to think about that a little bit, buddy. I mean, I'm not saying you need to, get down on your knees.
You can have the complaint, but
Yeah.
you can have the complaint, but be more polite. But that's funny. It's people were complaining. Oh, I can't zoom up the ranks in 2 days.
And
They
honestly,
don't understand they intended for it to take longer.
yeah. And they're going to adjust it, and I'm like, just calm down. Steve, I love when Steve tries to put his foot down, and he was better at it in the past. With I swear, I remember a long time ago he was like, we're making hard and fast changes, and that's how we run it. And I'm like, yes, do it, man. It's beta. Fucking change it up. Do it. And I think they've gotten soft, man. I think they've gotten a little soft.
Well, I feel bad because sometimes he takes a stand on things. I remember somebody made some comment about them scraping the bottom of the barrel with mods, and he
Yeah.
kind of took offense to it. And he said, I think that's rude to say. We're not scraping the bottom of the barrel. We have lots of ideas." But then he ended up going back and apologizing for
I
the
know.
way he acted, and I
I
felt
know.
like he didn't need to apologize. I
He
understand.
didn't. And I applauded
Yeah.
him, and I was like, yes, tell those fucking 13-year-olds or whoever the fuck it is that's acting like a 13-year-old, maybe the 31, who knows? I don't give a shit. Tell them to shut the
Yeah.
fuck up. We're
The
doing the
30-year-olds in
game.
their mom's basement, stuffing their face with Twinkies.
Yeah.
I mean, I know those guys are out there. I know
Yeah.
they're out there. But I felt like he didn't need to apologize, and
Yeah.
I
Well,
feel bad that he felt like
I'll tweet
that.
this.
The
I'll
thing
tweet
is,
this at them when I put it up and say, "Hey guys, listen to it." I always tweet this stuff at Crewman Drew, and occasionally he's like, "Yeah, hey, that's a thing."
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, cool. We've had the most sort of interaction with Becca, and she's been very nice to us. So I'd like
Cool.
to give a shout out to her. Thank you for running the community and being patient with all of us. I'm sure you get bombarded with all kinds of weird, creepy stuff.
Yeah.
being a woman in this environment.
And that's honestly, then that's one of the reasons why I don't send anything to her at all, because I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of people trying to. Well, I'm going to leave that expression out. Jesus Christ, that almost got really bad. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people at the door or whatever, just trying to get the attention of the developers, And then she's also a woman. Come on, it's a lot of guys here playing this game. So I usually
have some manners, guys. Have some
have
manners.
some manners. I did, though recently there was an XCal, and there was a picture of XCal and Jeff. And she said something like, who's going to get this Valentine's? And I was like, hey, what's Ray Romano doing next to Excalibur? Poor guy. Jeff is awesome, though. I love Jeff's attitude.
I could swear there are probably people. She probably doesn't interact with the community as much as she could because there are people stalking her. I remember we had talked to her on raid call once.
I don't even follow her on Twitter.
I'm not going to name names, but this player who's not in our clan, suddenly hopped in to our raid call, like, "Oh, hi, Becca." It's like, "What are you doing here? Like, how did you even know we were here?"
Yeah.
And I could swear that he was like stalking her, like saw that she was online and was like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll just hop into these guys unannounced and say hi to her." So
this is going to be its whole own episode, us talking about Rebecca and the interaction between the community, the Lotus cast, the creepy cast.
I would love to see if we could get her on and
I don't think so,
stories
man.
about that, because
I'm so far down on the radar. It's consistency.
Maybe I have some pull. I'll say something to her. Maybe
it's actually not. I'm messing around. I've got a full-time job, all that good stuff. It's a consistency thing. I don't have that consistency. And I only do this when I got passionate topics or I got people that are interesting to talk about. And actually these are new. These audio casts, I've only done them in the past. So, mostly I stick to melee fighting.
You're being modest, man. Your channel's been going for over 2 years. I saw the
Oh, no. What I mean is like YouTube, if you don't upload every day kind of thing, you get buried because you're like you're a tiny little amoeba in the sea. And people are just pumping out content, and it pisses me off to an extent. Yeah, but at the same time, I can't worry about it.
Fill your catalog with stuff, you're going to get more money. But do what you can. They should do what's fun.
Yeah, I try to put out shit that people were actually going to feel something for, So if that pisses somebody off, I'm like, all right, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'm going to be getting into it soon because I run a production company, and one of the things we're trying to do is get into doing movie reviews. And I know a lot of people are probably like, "Oh God, another movie reviewer." But what we're trying to do is we're only going to be reviewing the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of an unprecedented thing. You've got all these different franchises that are interlinked together to all these films. That's a big deal. So yeah, it's me and two of my friends, and we're going to be hopping into this game and doing the same thing, and I hope it goes well.
Awesome.
But I'll tell you more about that later.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, no, we've got like a delay here, kind of a big delay, like about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna say is like the appetite of people that are, I guess that's the right word. The consumer of content is huge, so everybody puts out their own version on it, their own personas. So it's like there's plenty enough because people are gonna just eat it up. It's the same thing with Warframe. Anytime new content comes out, we just destroy it. It's like done one day, done.
Yeah, everybody's on top of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sorry if sometimes you made a joke and it seemed like I wasn't laughing. It's because occasionally I couldn't actually understand what you were saying. It's sort of crunching up digitally. I don't know if that's my connection. It probably is. But hopefully the audio on your end is good.
Yeah, I was going to say the audio is coming through really good on my end. So, and I'm actually really used to people not laughing at jokes I make. So there was no problem there either. We're good to go. Either way.
No. I probably would have laughed. I just like occasionally when we were talking, it was kind of like, I don't know what he just said.
I'm a robotic ninja. I mean, fucking A. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're on Warframe, man. I remember when I first got into the game, somebody said to me, "Space Ninja," and I went, "Oh,
exactly." Yeah, exactly.
That's what I wanted to be since I was 5.
Yeah, I was like, how has this never been done before? Or if it has, no one ever heard of it. How?
Well, you know what? The interesting thing is, so of course, that this game is kind of a continuation of Dark Sector.
Yes, I do.
I saw game images, in Game Informer or one of those video game magazines a long time ago about Dark Sector before it came out, and I could swear that the character models in that version of the game look more like Warframe.
Yeah.
And it's my understanding that the game originally was supposed to be more sci-fi related, and that the developers told them, well, no, can you tone it down and make it more realistic?
It's true.
I don't know why they did that. But so they did Dark Sector instead, and then eventually got back to doing Warframe. So I think they tried to make this game a long time ago, and it was shut down.
No, it's true. That was actually one of their stories that they had up a long time ago. I think maybe it's still on the forum somewhere. But that video is still up where they're in a Grenier ship or whatever. Yeah, it's absolutely true. Yep. Yeah, and then it just got changed. But see, that's one of those things, like with the Order 1886, where people were pissing on the developers, and I'm like, I think you guys need to redirect your rage. The developers are the guys like me. We fucking made that shit, but we don't always control, what the decisions are. You have publishers up there. You got marketing. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and that was the thing I felt for Mass Effect too, because I was sitting there wondering, who wrote this? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, who decided that this was the way that they were going to end the series? Because it felt, I've done some writing myself, and it felt completely different.
Yeah.
From the other games when it got to the ending of that game, and I said, this must have been a producer decision.
Yeah.
Somebody in charge told them, well, look, we want to make another game, so we want you to end the game this way. And that totally didn't reflect the vision that they had set up with the rest of the game. So yeah, sometimes you got to look higher than the developers. These are the people with the money who make the decisions about how games are released. And the video game industry is becoming a lot like the film industry, where it's dictated by people with suits who,
that's true.
I think sometimes don't respect the game making process or the customers. Because that's why they're doing things like you hear about them paying for the magazines not to review the game until it comes out because they don't want the reviews to affect the opening day sales. It's getting to be a weird industry, and usually I think, like in films, when something goes wrong, it's along those lines, the business decision making lines. It's not so much the movie, but sometimes it is the movie.
Yeah. Well, it's like when Kevin Smith put out Red State and he tried to do it all himself, because he understood how the industry works. He went through it, and he's like, well, fuck that. I'm going to try to do it myself. It's, in my opinion, what frees Digital Extremes a little bit, because they're pretty much putting out the game themselves, and they don't really have to answer to anybody, which is, I'm sure that's very freeing, Well, they got to answer to us, but
I don't know if they're completely free to do everything. I think there is some chain of command in the company that's
true.
above Steve and them, but I'm not exactly sure. Like, I get the sense, like in one dev stream, Steve said, we are told the kinds of questions that we can and cannot answer, the kinds of comments that we can and cannot make about the game. So that says to me that there's still somebody there telling them, well, you can do this and you can't do that. But ultimately, most of the game is produced by us.
Right.
I mean, you're buying platinum and you're buying weapons. That's the day-to-day income of this game. That is the way their business model works. So for the most part, we are the producers.
Right. And it's true, because a creative director normally isn't going to be running the business. I mean, they can, but usually there's going to be someone else on the business side of that. That's true.
Yeah. These are the guys that come up with the concept for the game and decide how it should go, but not how. It's not always how it's presented, how it's released, how the updates it. It's a company. There's a lot of people working involved. There's also that thing that happened with them a while ago, where the company was partly purchased or bought out by some Chinese investor, some chicken company in China. Yeah. My clan for Ghost Clans had climbed up to number 1, but it became this heated race with this other clan, and what's funny is one of the members from that clan is now in my clan, or was in our clan when this happened. And the rumor was that the guy in charge of the competing clan, basically, when he couldn't beat us, kicked out all of his members and then offered to pay platinum to bring on other guys in to come in and just repeatedly rack up kills so they could beat us before the kill board ended. But that didn't work out for them. So that's one of the few victories that we really celebrated. Yeah, it was nuts to hear that, because we were I think it was for like a week. It was basically like the Lotus put a hit on us.
Yeah.
When they told everybody, hey, the scoreboard's about to end. So we were just grinding for like a full, I think it was like 2 weeks, just trying to stay in number 1 so that we would retain that title when the scoreboard ended, and thankfully we did.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that, I'm a very...
It sounds, I mean, it's kind of silly to be like, oh, we're on some digital scoreboard, but it was really exciting.
Well, when you do it, and you do it based on skill, and that you're not, it's that much more. And that's one of those things that I do, like, I try to show with my channel too, is like, yeah, you can get the most powerful... You can look at these other... And I kind of do take a diametrically opposed position to other channels where they're really talking about the OP weapons, and that's the best thing you need, and that's the only thing you can use. So I'm like, no, you can use your skill and really, do these things that people are talking about even better sometimes, because you're doing it based on pure skill. You're not doing it based on a stat, So I can imagine winning like that is just, it's so much better, especially when those other people are doing some shady shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. It's always frustrating because we always hear about how it's done afterwards. So I think it was, I can't remember, I think it was, which one was it where you had to escort the pod? And then some players were basically inducing lag so that they could get higher scores.
Interesting. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that was one of those things that happened. But yeah, I don't know, like having skills, like one of our skills, like when we started playing the game early, was just simply putting focus into the weapons, because we felt like a lot of players were sort of relying on their powers. And what's funny is, to get into our clan, we have this initiation test where you have to go into a defense mission and survive. It used to be going to Jupiter and surviving 10 waves alone against the infested. And a lot of people, when we tell them that, would be like, oh, that's easy, I can handle that, because they've run in squads of 4, and they've done it. And it's kind of funny because it's like, okay, well, when you're alone, it's different. You don't realize how much you rely on other players to sort of mop things up. Even if you're the guy running around hitting 4 all the time, there's still other things going on. So a lot of these guys would go in there and think, okay, it used to be that Banshee was really OP. So they would go in there with Banshee and they think, okay, I'll just hit Quake a bunch of times and I'll win. But they would get to a point somewhere around wave 6 where they would just run out of energy. And then get torn apart because they didn't spend enough time leveling their weapons and understanding how to fight,
because they didn't actually run out of energy.
Right. So it is so funny. We've gone through so many people that go into those tests thinking, yeah, I know what I'm doing, and they just get torn to shreds.
My favorites
it's happened lots of times.
My favorites were the Infested Survival on series, and it's funny because that's gotten a little attention now, because some YouTube players are like, hey, let's look at Melee now, and I'm like, yeah, I've been doing it for a while, man. And I'm like, you can't do that. And I'm like, I've been running those Gabby Dark Sector series since they came out solo for over 10 minutes with Melee only, no powers, no Sentinel kills. Yeah. I think I know what I'm talking about with Melee.
That used to be the way I played for a long time too. Is when we first started, it was all about going into a defense mission, and seeing how long you could last. I mean, that was like the whole basis of our clan, was going in and doing that. So we put in a lot of time and understanding how to do those things. And then it's funny. But then it's funny because we would go and play with people from other clans who are using these exploitative approaches.
Of course.
Like finding, okay, well, if you use this power and this power, you basically eat through the mission without having to do anything. Playing smart rather than skilled. And so, it's just like, oh, okay, defense I guess you can do that.
Than survival because, you're not just protecting yourself in defense. You got to protect the damn pod. That's why I honestly don't play it very much, because I'm like, I want to survive and scale up as long as I can. I don't want to have to deal with. Yeah, because I'm also doing it with Melee, and trying to protect a pod with Melee is a little bit harder because you have to engage, well, more singular enemies.
Survival's still similar because you have to be concerned about the oxygen. Bellum is always talking to me. He's like, I wish the survival missions were about how long you basically could stay alive. Rather than, I have to worry about oxygen, or I have to worry about defending a pod. He said these missions should be about them trying to kill you. So,
I agree.
we can hope there's a mission type like that.
Okay.
Well, we'll save some content for the next time.
All right, that's what I got for you. That's what we got. It was a real joy talking to Hanzo29. You should check out, I'm going to put a link in the description there's another talk that he did with a buddy of his, Bellum, and you should check out Bellum's channel, because number one, what's going on over there is Bellum is running these kind of like his own version of tactical alerts or quests or missions. So it's like player run things, and it's really cool because they're giving away a lot of platinum. I think the last time I saw it was like over 400 platinum plus other prizes. So you really should check these things out. They're player run, and it's It's got like story and graphics behind it. It's really fucking cool. I'll put links in the description and also in the comments, and I'll try to put an annotation on the video, but I may not because I'm lazy. Okay, guys, check that stuff out, please. And upcoming after this, we've got well, not directly after this, clearly, because this video is going to end. But the next series of this is going to be with the Great Gamertron show. Had a really good time talking to that guy. And thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, and we'll see you next time.